Morning, friends. Welcome to morning tea. Well, this is going to be the last one for a little while, and I hope that's not too disappointing. The practical reason is that we have a big hobby horse event coming up that the girls have been instrumental in putting together, and I want to be helpful for that. It's going to be taking a lot of our time and energy over the next few weeks, and the rest of my time I want to devote, of course, to family and then to my martial arts students that I have here and to my online coaching clients. So I'm going to have my hands pretty full and just going to step back from these morning teas for a few weeks. The other reason is deeper. And you've probably seen me over the last few years struggle a little bit with what to do with this channel. Not too long ago, I shared with you that I was not going to hold myself to any scheduled type of releases of videos, but just do things as they came to me. That's not going to change. That's going to continue. But in the background, we've been taking that energy and using it for something else. Well, you maybe, if you've been with me long enough, seen me start at least one other, maybe a couple other YouTube channels and kind of experiment with that. Kind of trying to find our voice. I say our because it's coming to the point where Rebecca and I really want to focus on doing something together. Our whole life, we basically, since we were teenage sweethearts, and our whole lives we tended to work together, be together, and just we call it flying information, do pretty much everything together, and it's really fun to be in a creationary process with Rebecca. I've tried a couple times to integrate Rebecca and the rest of the family into this channel, but sometimes we've all had enthusiasm, but then life comes in, and I think we just all view this more as my channel, and so it's been tough for everybody to feel, oh, let's all do this together, and I and my family realizes that's just a mental label we've put on it, but it's been a tough one for us to get over for some reason. Part of that may be that the concept of this channel, rewilding or connection with nature, is something that my full family is interested in, but that I have much more interest in than the rest of my family. So Mirabelle, as you probably know, has a hobby horsing channel. And as a family, we're feeling very galvanized to help build that up with her. And then Rebecca and I have been, over the last year and a half, putting together a project that is something that's very dear to our hearts. We're kind of going to be revealing some parts of ourselves that maybe I would say we haven't quite hidden, because we've talked about this in various of our outlets. Uh, but it's something that I haven't just come right out on this channel and said, hey, this is something that's really important to Rebecca and I, and this is something we want to focus more on. So this is a new project. And when we're done with the hobby horsing event, we will be unveiling that and sharing it with you. And we're recognizing that it may not be of interest to many of you, but I have found during these morning teas this great satisfaction and great love of just doing these videos where I'm connecting with you, where there's no polish, there's no what I kind of think of as fitting what is proper on YouTube. It's been interesting because as soon as I started putting these up, of course, because they're more personal, there's not I'm not making these for YouTube to fit the algorithm. These long pauses are not allowed. There's been lower views on these, and it's been interesting to see that affect the whole channel. So usually I have, you know, I think we've put together here in our on our ReWild U channel, is it over 600 or 700 videos that are this huge catalog of information. So by the way, if you're new here, there are years and years of, there's tons of material here to help you on your life journey. But to see YouTube must look at your current stuff and then uses that to decide if they're going to recommend your other videos. So it's been interesting to see all that kind of trickling down. And I do, while I wanted to do this in a sense of not worrying about how YouTube looks at it, I do want that library of content to be out there, to be getting recommended, because I think it's highly valuable. So, so that's why on this channel, I'm going to stop doing the morning teas. When we start the morning teas up again, they're going to be on a new channel that will invite you to come and join us there for kind of this next evolution in our life. Again, if you just love the ReWild U channel, I will still be making videos here whenever it inspires me. But there's going to be a new focus. With that being said, I thought I'd end this morning tea, um, this chapter of morning teas, with a story. And it kind of segues into what we'll announce in a few weeks. When, oh, how long ago was this? This is a long time ago. I suppose it's almost 30 years ago now or so. My brother was in Nepal, and was uh, he was there with the Peace Corps, but he did a lot of traveling, kind of in Southeast Asia, and when he would travel to places, he was very immersion based. So he learned Tibetan, and he was there for 2 years, if I'm correct, just a year maybe. I don't know. He spent some time in Mongolia too, and I'm getting the time lines confused a little bit with those two. It's a long time ago. But anyway, he I was invited to go and spend a month with him in Nepal. And so I went there, and he was such a marvelous guide because he he spoke some Nepalese, but he also spoke Tibetan. We were able to go see the Tibetan refugee camps, and he just, oh man, he kind of knew the ins and outs of the culture in the way that you'd know a culture having come from it, from outside of it. And then you can see the loopholes, and when you had to, this was just before the communist takeover, it's just when Westernism was creeping in. I've got lots of stories about that adventure with him, but he knew when to selectively apply a bribe. He knew when something felt too sketchy, and so it was fun. It was really neat. But this one memory, might seem a little random, is being up trekking with him, because we spent some time up in the mountains in the Himalayas, and there'd be these little teeny, I don't know if you'd call it a village, or these little places you could stop and you could get some food. And I, I kept seeing on their little menus pizza, pizza. And so I think Nathan warned me against it, but I ended up trying it anyway. In my mind, here's what happened. There were some Western truckers, and they were going along up through these mountains and came to a little place where would all happen in Nepalese because, yeah, so all in different language here. But these guys would see the menu and they'd say, "Where's the pizza?" Maybe they were from Europe and had a craving for foods from home. And the person in this little, not much more than the bench I'm sitting on, and then a little place to cook, and maybe one table and chairs over there for somebody to sit on, would say, "What is pizza?" I'd say, "Well, it's a bread and then sauce on top of that and some cheese and toppings and super delicious. You'll sell tons of it." So this person made pizza, and then it spread throughout all of the Himalayas. "We will make pizza." You probably can't get it like this anymore, but and that the interpretation of the pizza was something that I remember as pizza soup. So it came in, well, actually it came kind of in a bowl, and there's a bread on the bottom. I think they kind of put it on high heat, so the bread was kind of crisp, but then soft and mushy, almost dough-like, because it had been baked with this liquid in it, and the sauce was more of a liquid, almost soupy. And then there was cheese on top and toppings. I have no idea, and probably would not want to know if I could what the toppings were, because they might have been surprising to me. Um, I loved that pizza for some reason. It was this yummy dish that I've never experienced since. I should try to recreate it at some point. But I, in my memory, I remember ordering this pizza soup, numerous times throughout the journey up in the mountains and enjoying it every time. There's kind of a point to that story, too. And the point to that story is that we can be presented with an idea. It could be an idea that's completely foreign to us from another culture. But as I spoke about earlier in a morning tea, we all kind of have our own worlds. And so sometimes the idea might be really simple, like a friend saying, "Hey, you want to go into town with me?" Hmm. And in your mind, going into town means, "Oh, we're going to go window shopping at some of the antique stores. That sounds really, really fun." And in your friend's mind, that means, "Oh, we're going to go to the coffee shop and get some coffee." And then if you go into town with that person, you can get your pizza, so to speak, and be very, very disappointed, because we all know what pizza is. Well, here in the United States, maybe we think we know what pizza is. But we all probably have a fairly similar idea of what pizza is that at least does not deviate so far from our mutual image as to be pizza soup. But you go into town and then you don't have a very good time and you get upset because she just wants to go sit at the coffee shop the whole time and talk with other people. And she's not having a really good time because you're upset because you wanted to go to the antique stores. Maybe you even just split up and go do your own thing. Or sometimes when the world doesn't appear just as we thought we wanted it to appear, we can have pizza soup and we might find it enjoyable. Because I probably could have received my pizza with a mental image in my mind of what pizza is, and been very disappointed, maybe even discarded the food in anger or disappointment. Probably not, because I was very hungry. But those are possibilities. And the other possibility was to eat it and to be open to a new idea of what pizza is and to actually enjoy it and have fun with it. And that's, I think, relevant to what Rebecca and I will be talking about as we talk about our project. The mind might jump to a certain thing, but the way we're doing it might be a little bit different. And it'd be fun to have you join us for pizza soup. So if that um, story and that concept appeals to you, keep it in mind in a few weeks when I talk with you again about what we're doing. And also, then, just in our everyday lives, this can be valuable because pretty guaranteed today there will be something that comes into your life that is not the way that you mentally projected it would be. This can just be somebody's behavior because these messy organic beings we call humans that are around us all the time, right? We want them to behave in certain ways, especially if they are close to us, a wife or a husband or a child, and they're going to behave in ways that aren't according to our mental projections. Barring using this as an excuse to stay in some kind of abusive situation, what if we say, look, somebody's not in the mood that I was hoping they would be in? That's okay. Let's explore that and see what this mood is like. Because if you go with your friend and you sit down at the cafe and you start talking to people, you might learn some neat things. It might even circle around that that person is the owner of one of the antique shops and has some really neat insights or stories or opportunities to share with you. I like to think of life like this, as a treasure chest full of mysterious opportunities and explorations and possibilities. It keeps me pretty excited about every single day, almost every single moment. Though, yeah, my mind can get stuck into ruts too, but less and less these days, especially with what Rebecca and I will be sharing with you. So, join me today in just seeing life as a treasure chest. Who knows what is going to be inside there when you open that chest top and look inside. But I bet if you look at it with the eyes of pizza soup, it's going to be more marvelous than you otherwise might have imagined. Love to you all, my friends. Thank you for joining me for all these morning teas. And I will be thinking of you all, because I do, during these few weeks as we have these other things going. Always remember you can come visit our website if you want to see what's what's going on at ReWild U, because I'm still I had a cancellation, so I still have an opening for a student this fall, and I have another opening for a coaching client. So there's other ways to connect, but there will be more of this kind of connection, this just personal connection, which I've so enjoyed during these morning teas, and will be plunging into deeper with this upcoming project after we are done with these few weeks of hobby horse extravaganza. All right. Share with me in the comments. So much love to you all. We'll talk with you soon.